Another part to Chapter 4, Lesson 4, Guess and Check, and Special Cases. Now the video that we had last time had if A had a number in front of it. Send something like this. If we had that, then we had to look for factors of A and C. Now we're going to be dealing with what if A is 1? What would we have to do? Also, our special cases. So when A is 1, it's still the same thing. Still looking for factors of A. However, the only factors of A that we have will always be 1 and 1. And the factors of C here would be 11 and 1. So when I'm looking at this, when I'm checking, you're going to have 1 times 1 and 11 times 1 for this case. That would give you 1 plus 11, which is equal to 12. So that's going to be my answer. When I write it out, I would just have an X in both of them because it'd be like having a 1. And then it doesn't matter which one you put the factors of C in, because either way, each one has a factor of 1 to begin with. So again, you're looking for your factors of C that multiply to get B. So same thing here, I'm looking for my factors of A, so it would be 1 and 1. My factors of C here would give me a 2, negative 5, or else I could have a negative or positive 5, negative 2. I could also have 10 and 1, negative 1, or negative 10 and positive 1. So now I'm going to be guessing and checking. So I have my factors of A. So I'm going to just do 2 and 5 first. And my factors of C. And if I multiply that, that would give me 2. If I add that to my negative 5, that would give me my negative 3. Oh, I don't have to go any further because I guessed the first one right away. So when I'm writing this, my factors of A are both going to be 1, and then again, it doesn't matter which parentheses you have the factors of C in, because, and only because, your factors of A are the same. Right now I want you to pause the video, yes, pause the video, and try this one by yourself. Now if you follow me along with my work, follow my lifesaver, I first picked negative 6 and 4, and I checked that right here, and I got a negative 2. And then I flip-flopped my sign, so I made it a positive 6 and a negative 4. And when I add those together, I got a positive 2. Now when you're guessing and checking, if you want to just make sure to flip the sign, if you got the right number, but the wrong sign, meaning this one's negative, this one's positive, just flip your two numbers' signs. And then I had to check over here because neither of these are my middle term, which is B right here. So I checked that and I got 5. So this right here is my final answer. X plus 8 and X minus 3. Now I'm getting into my special cases. Now one thing, when you're dealing with special cases, you can still solve these without using the shortcut for a special case. But sometimes it's just easier. So special case means if I look at my A and if I look at my C, both of those are perfect squares. If I write those as perfect squares, you have two parentheses. It would be a 2x and a 3, a 2x and a 3. Now, when I have a middle term, as in here, my middle term would be a negative 12. The sign in the middle should be the same sign here. You want to make sure that this is correct. How do you make sure that this is correct? You take, this would be like your A value, and this is your C value. So I take my 2 times 3, and I always have to multiply this number, so this would be 6, times 2, because they would give me two middle terms. When you're foiling, you have your outside and inside. This is equal to 12, so that checks out because that would be my middle term. Again, you first look at your A and C and see that they're perfect squares. Then you want to take the perfect squares, I'll bring back my lightsaber, the perfect squares of both A and C right here, and that's where I get the 2 and 3 from. And my middle term is negative, so I want to make sure that my middle term is negative. And voila. Now again, this is still a special case, because if you look at your A and C, whenever your A and C are perfect squares, you want to check to see if it's a special case. My special case here, again, I'm going to write my two parentheses. Square root of 49 is 7, and since the 49 is with the x, the 7 should also be with the x, and the square root of 25 is 5. Now in this case, I do not have a middle term. That would be like a 0x right here. Now, if you're thinking the opposite, the only way that you can come up with 0 would be having a positive and negative. So when you're writing your answer, you should have a positive 5 and also a negative 5. So when you FOIL this out, again, we're looking at our middle terms, because my first, that should be my 49x squared, which is. My outside then, this right here would give me a negative 35x. My inside would give me, this term right here would give me a positive 35x. And those two should always cancel each other out. And the only way you can cancel those out would be by having a positive and negative inside your parentheses. Again, this is a special case, so I want you to try to do this by yourself. So you have 6x plus 1 times 6x plus 1 or 6x plus 1 squared. I would accept either answer. Again, another special case. Try it by yourself first, so push pause. Since my middle term cancels out, you want to make sure to have your positive and negative signs. Without those, it would not be correct. And that is all for guess and check and special cases. Have a good day.